Illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques. This is the elbow. An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
Yeah, the illegal elbow.
Welcome back, just like that!
Hey, welcome to Illegal Elbow MMA and more. It's Brian from LegalElbow.com and Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter.
So, interesting weekend, people. Just want to throw it out there. It was okay when you're talking about, the stuff that happened.
I don't know, man, but before we get into this, Fart Night,
That's what it should be called, man, for sure,
yeah.
man.
We want to make a special announcement. And this guy is a true warrior, a true veteran of the trade. He's been in there with the biggest and the baddest. We've had him on before back, what was it, like 5 years ago, bro? 6 years ago?
Yeah, actually the last time was 2011, man. I'm not sure the month,
yeah.
But yeah.
Paul, the headhunter, Buentello, ladies and gentlemen. And last time we had him on, he not only talked about his fight plan on a fight that was coming up, he also took us behind the scenes in the locker room and told us some stories, some hilarious stories. It was great. But I do suggest tune in. We're in a couple shows here. We're going to be having him on, and it's going to be a real treat for Brian and I because this is one of our favorite fighters. So,
man, this guy goes back a long way, man. You're talking about 19-year career at this point. He's 41 years old. I would say his cardio probably looks as good as it's ever been, really. And his last fight, which you guys can go to LegalElbow.com and check it out. Front and center, scroll down. The very first post is his fight with Sokoju.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but I think actually the heading will spoil it for you. But it's still worth watching. Just go watch it. It's a great fight, I think.
Yeah, Paul Buentello is the definition of 40 is the new 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
this guy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man, but he said to us years ago, hey guys, if it ever comes to the point, because we talked about some of these guys looking like they're getting to the end of their career at that time, when we interviewed him, and he's like, guys, if I ever look like that, don't hesitate to tell me, hey man, I think maybe it's time to hang him up. And I'll tell you right now, I'm going to say it in the interview too. I don't think you're at that time now, even at age 41. You're not even close to that time, in my opinion, because the way he looked with. And I'm not saying Sokoju.
Did he have the hand? Was he throwing the patented hands, man? Against, I don't want to spoil who won, but in that fight, I didn't get to see it.
Dude,
his boxing.
His jab looked better than I've ever seen it.
Oh yeah, because that's his MO, man. For me, it's fucking his hands. It's fucking striking.
Yeah, and I mean, it's to me, I thought it was really good. I'm a big Paul Buentello fan, so. I guess if you're not, maybe this will rope you in. Who knows? But a lot of newer fans in the last probably 10 years might not know a whole lot about Paul Buentello. Man, I shouldn't say 10 years. Probably 5, 6, 7 years. Probably don't know a shit ton about Paul Buentello. You know what I mean? He's been, I don't remember the exact time he used to be in UFC. I think it's probably a good 7, 8 years since he's been in there. You know what I mean? So, if you're a fairly new fan, you might be behind the times when it comes to a Paul Buentello. So, I mean, definitely go to Legal Elbow. At least check out the fight, see what you think. But this is what this guy's career has always been about. That's why he's called a headhunter. But he's learned a lot of new stuff. He's good at getting off his back now, and he's made a lot of changes. He even made a cut to 205, made it. And then after a while, it was like, well, here I got a heavyweight fight that I'm signing up for, so why stay at 205? So I think he went back up to like 225 and a 225.
But if need be, and if the fight's right, you could see him fluctuating between divisions easily. So
yeah, he's pulled it off. So and he even said, last time we interviewed him, I'm a guy that I like to eat, man. It's hard for me to cut down. I like to eat, but he's pulled it off. And we're talking, it's probably at that time it was probably 3 years and some change later.
Yep,
So, I mean,
the headhunter is like a really a trailblazer for all those guys that, hard work does pay off, man. This guy has not had the biggest contract, sponsored contracts that some of these other fighters has. He has cut his own path. So, he has always been relevant in this sport, and every once in a while you hear fucking Paul Bentello's on a little fucking fight streak here, win streak, and that just says, hey, man, this shows this guy still has game, still has heart, and still turning heads, man.
Like I said, man, go check it out, LegalElbow.com. I don't want to fucking just keep, wrapping you upside the head with it. But we got an interview coming with him soon, so we want to at least throw it out there, have a little word on Paul, and super cool guy, man. Yeah, we're stoked. He's a super cool guy to talk to, have on the show. It's not going to be a huge, lengthy thing, probably a 20-minute, 25-minute thing.
Don't want to take up too much of his time.
Yeah, catch up with him, get an idea of what's happening, get what was your thoughts going into the fight, what your thoughts coming out.
Let him promo some of his stuff, because he's always doing good stuff around the community. So
yeah, and I don't know if anything's changed, but I want to mention this real quick before we move on. He did mention that he'll be back in December, so that means we got a pre-fight here coming with Paul Botello.
And we could probably get some insight on that too. So
I'm hoping that he's signed a 2-fight deal, or at least a 3-fight deal. That's with Abu Dhabi Warriors. So that's what I'm really hoping for, is that when we have the interview, we'll be looking forward to his next endeavor in December. So that'll be sweet, man. That'll be really, really nice, because we'll be barely a month out.
Yeah, and that show right there is going to be a dedicated show to nothing but the Paul Botello interview. Okay, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
We're going to put that out, Paul Botello interview, and that's it. So we might even put, depending on the time, we might even put the last interview on the back end of it, So, because that was a good interview too. So
yeah, it was all fun, man, and it was like you were saying earlier, man. A lot of cool stories. It's cool. Paul's just cool guy to sit down and bullshit with, man. It's just cool, man. It's a good time. So, what you got on tap there, man? What you got on tap, brother?
Like you're saying, man. A card from the get was almost doomed. It
was a beautiful card too, man. It started out, it was great.
Shit, 2 weeks ago we were still pumped. 2.5 weeks ago, still pumped, and then we got the news in. Fucking Stipe, Rothwell done. Okay, okay, we can kind of disappoint, or majorly disappointing, because heavyweight fans, and then we hear the Joseph Duffy and whatchamacallit.
Yeah, Poirier. Yeah, you know what? Poirier, they were asking Poirier to fight somebody else, and he's like, no. I've been training for Joseph Duffy. Let's wait this out and see what Joseph Duffy's doing. I train for Joseph Duffy. I'm not here to save the show. I'm here to fight who I'm supposed to fight, and I don't blame him.
You have to respect the fighter's wishes, because you did not prepare or train for this guy. I've had different views on it before, but you have to respect that, just because he's not going to short-sight himself and come in there unprepared. He's trying to work himself back up to contention here, and he's not going to have, a falter in game plan strategy here by not having enough time to train for this guy.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking the week of, so why would he just refocus his attention on somebody else? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, no thanks, man, and I don't blame him one bit, man. And another thing I want to mention on this earlier cancellation, talking about the Stipe and the Rothwell. Rothwell was on an interview talking about how he thought it was real funny, because it was only a couple days later after they canceled that fight due to Stipe's injury. Mm-hmm. Stipe's said injury. Stipe is out. He's injured. Nobody, undisclosed. So, and then you see within a couple days, UFC has got him facing Andrei Arlovski December 19th.
Damn, it would almost be great right now if we had some X-Files music.
Yeah, it's like, seriously? I mean, WTF is that? That's bullshit,
fucked.
man. That's bullshit because what you're doing is basically you're shoving it straight up the back door of Rothwell.
And putting on the fight that you really want to see.
Right. So it's like,
more draw.
to me, behind closed doors, it's like, you know what? I think we made a mistake. Go ahead and call yourself injured.
Yep.
We'll reschedule the fight that we need here, the fight that you want. Blah, blah,
And
blah.
it's actually, if you...
Sounds fishy as hell to me, man. Why would you reschedule an injured guy to fight somebody in 2 months?
And if you think about it, they fucking jumped the gun, okay, in the first place. Instead of a guy that was in waiting, a Stipe Miocic, a guy that was in waiting for a guy that's ranked enough to fight him. Yeah, a fucking Arlovsky makes a lot more sense than a Ben Rothwell, but you look at a Ben Rothwell, I think Ben Rothwell's earned his slot.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, knocked out a fucking Overeem, and
Exactly.
before that, who the hell did he beat the hell out of before that? I mean,
yeah, and then you look at that, and you're like, okay, this is for fucking cash grab purposes. You know, draw purposes, and like you said, fucking got Ben Rothwell got the high hard one, said in an interview, fucking outed their asses, and it's.
Right, he said
man.
I feel like I'm taking a huge slap to the face here, you know, and
but it sucks, dude. Conspiracy 101, fucking,
They did offer him some other fights, and I don't think he disclosed who they offered, but he said, why do I want to take a backwards fight? I've made my way into the top 10. Why do I want to fight backwards now?
And it would have been a fucking perfect. It would have been a perfect fight if UFC fucking would have really thought about it. Just have this fucking fight. Put Arlovsky just fought not too long ago. Put him on the shelf for a little bit. Okay, put him on the shelf for a fucking little bit, and have the winner of these two guys then fight the Arlovsky fight. Maybe. Right. But I don't see that would even be feasible because by that time, fucking Stipe is like, come on, dude, what the fuck's up?
Right. Not only that, it's like
2 or 1.
How do we know Stipe's not going to still be injured by the time they? That's my whole point. How do they know he's still not going to be injured by the time they reschedule this fight? It was undisclosed.
Oh my god!
I mean, undisclosed. That means we're not telling you what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no damn sense. And they already got him booked. Stipe, the injured guy, for, like I said, I think it's December 19th, but I could be wrong about that. It may be the January 2nd card, or it may be early in December. I'm not sure, but I believe
stop doing interviews and start fucking shouting from the rooftops, dude. Fucking Ben Rothwell, man, he's probably got some shit on Twitter right now about it. I haven't read his Twitter, but. He's probably got a comment or two on there.
He's definitely not happy about it, but he is looking at it like, you know what? He's looking at it. He's trying to stay positive about it, looking at it like, well, if something happens with Overeem where he has to pull out, or then he would get his shot at possibly get his shot at JDS. Because he's like, I would really like to fight Jerry Dos Santos. But it's like, well, that's a huge ramp up for you because you'd be going to, which he validated his point on this. He's like, I think he said he's number.
Is JDS lined up with anybody right now?
Yeah, Overeem. Yeah, he's fighting
okay.
Overeem.
Okay,
yeah,
sweet.
I'm not sure the actual. I think that might be in December, or it might be the January 2nd card. I don't.
Damn, talk about the edge of your seat fucking fight, dude.
Yeah, I think Overeem's going to just get collected. But you know what? Overeem's looked really good with his, punch and get out. He's looked a lot better with, you know what I mean? But like we've talked in the past, we're comparing that to a Roy Nelson, too.
Yeah,
JDS is a lot faster than a Roy Nelson.
And he has to fucking come to terms that a JDS is a heavyweight that can close the gap and he's constantly in your mug. So.
Right. So Overeem, if he's smart, which we know he is, he's not an idiot. I mean, but I'm saying if he's smart with his game plans, he should have a specific game plan for a JDS, and look at a lot of Kane tape.
And if he's going in there fucking trying to dodge the fucking power shots like he did on Ben Rothwell, and just ended up getting collected anyways.
Right.
So focused on not getting the jaw tested, because it's to tell you the truth.
That's more of what he did with Roy, though. He did more of the dodge the fucking shot, because Roy throws that thing from Albuquerque. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and that's going to be the difference right here. You're going against a guy that can fucking mix up his shots.
Yeah,
and then
not going to telegraph it.
Yeah, on the end of it, fucking. Well, I just have to say, if he gets tagged, we've seen the chin, and it's not going to last long. So.
Yeah, I'm obviously we're both going to be picking JDS in that. Probably, yeah. I mean, if he finds his way out of the first,
yeah,
he's getting collected in the second, in my opinion. I mean, it's
only
going to be a matter of time before he finds
first rounder.
It. Yeah, I would guess first round, man. But if for some reason he finds his way out, he's not getting out of the second. If he does, man, all hats off to him, man, because that means he's really worked a game plan here and got some real shit figured out for himself.
But getting back to the injury thing with the UFC, and I've said this before, and this kind of could solve a lot of problems, is just have some other fighters that are going to face each other, and if they don't face each other in this because of injury, maybe they can automatically be put on the next card or something like that. Just have slots open for them. You know what I'm saying? But fill-ins, you know what I'm saying? Decent name fill-ins. Like I said, if they don't happen to fight and fill in for the fucking injured party, because, if one guy gets injured, both guys are out. These two other fighters that are going to fight.
Yeah, what the hell do you call them for the tournaments? What do you call them?
They would be fill-ins or alternates.
Alternates. There you go. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you have some alternates in there.
You got alternates going to come in. I totally agree.
Exactly. And that they used to do it all the fucking time. But instead of one fighter, let's have two fighters that are training for each other. Like I said, they don't fight in this one because nobody gets injured, and you have one for each weight class or whatever. They just get plugged into the next fucking couple cards, and it's just so you can keep your card bolstered in a certain situation, and maybe have their names good enough to where it's not going to be as good, but it still is worth watching. So that's just my idea on it. They should just, because it's damage control right now, dude. It is.
It is, because that's exactly why this card that we're talking about became Fart Night, because it became ridiculous. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But as much as I like both these guys, Louis Smolka and Paddy Houlihan is not a main event, man. I don't care okay, if you're over there in Ireland, yeah, it's a cool fight, man. It's a great fight.
And maybe years down the road when they get their names bigger, it would have been. But right now, no.
No. Not by a long shot, man. But there are some great names on this card. Neil Seery taking a nice win over Reyes. Darren Till and Nicholas Dalby. Just a barn burner of a fight, man. Till looking top-notch, coming in there in the first round, just shaking things up.
Bam.
A head kick knockdown to Dalby. Dalby finds his way out of it and starts really pouring things on in the third. So it ended up being a majority draw, it was just a solid ass fight, and they were hats off on each other at the end of it. It's a cool show of sportsmanship. It was, what you'd want to see. Very cool competitive fight. And then you got Norman Park taking a Reza Madadi. Reza Madadi really just kind of wore down towards the end of that fight. And Norman Park was just laying into him, man. Just laying into him with shots.
Can I ask a question? Because I didn't get to see the fights.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this beforehand. Did a Norman Park kind of strategize and not fucking blow his wad in the first round?
Exactly, yep.
Okay. Because that's what we were wondering.
He was picking shots more wisely, you know what I mean? Picking shots more wisely. Reza Madadi was spending a lot of time going for takedowns. Which he's been 2 years out. That probably, played in the gas tank, because he wore himself out. Towards the third round. even though he looked good, I'm not going to say he went in here, looking like shit. He probably had a really good training camp, and things look great. His cardio was good, but he just, maybe he was overzealous. Maybe a bit of I would say a little bit, a percentage of a adrenaline dump here, because he was probably really hyped up coming in. But Norman Park, like you said, like you're calling it right now, just didn't get overzealous and just laid back and picked some smart shots, while maintaining his takedown defense. And there was not a lot of, I don't want to say not a lot of ground time, because there was some considerable ground time, but with the defense and all that shit. But Norman Park's ground takedown defense is sick, man. It's really good, really good. And his stand-up really, I think, paid off the most in this, because he really just started to pick Madadi apart. So I think we're seeing a more mature kind of Norman Park, and I think if he stays on that road and really learns more from that kind of a win, we'll see a better Norman Park, man. Really, especially coming off of some of the, not some of the main loss we've seen him in. I don't know. I think it was his last fight, but maybe not his last fight, but the one before it. I'm not exactly sure. I guess while we're looking at it, we kind of. Yeah, we're talking about a couple back-to-back losses. Gleison Tebow, Francisco Trinaldo. So, and they're split decisions, so at least he's able to go the long haul, but he pulled out a decision win with Reza Madadi. So, and yeah, it was a decision win. So, I mean, he was landing some nice shots, some really nice shots, but putting them out, it wasn't happening, man. His last knockout was mid-year 2014. It's Katani. Nayayuki Katani. I probably botched that name, but I'm sorry. Punches and elbows, he put him out. That was his last knockout. He's been a decision guy since then. So, when he played that fight smart, it looked really good. It was a good, a well played fight in his when it comes to his name. Smoka Houlihan going in, man. I mean, Smoka just really, to me, looked like the more complete package. You got Patrick Houlihan. Beautiful work on the ground, man. I mean, this showed a great chess match on the ground. Mm-hmm. It really was really good. Multiple attempts for Patty Houlihan. Great defense for Louis Smoka. Excuse me, Lucas. But also excellent work of just getting back to his feet. A couple of submission tries of his own, you know what I mean? So it was a very contested match when it did hit the ground. But when it was on the feet, Patty Houlihan was more of the brute and brawn kind of run and gun striker, and Louis Smoka was just pick your shots smart and land with accuracy. That's the way it looked to me. He was just a more finer cut of a striker than a Houlihan is at this point. And Louis Smoka, really, I mean, just what you were saying about Louis Smoka in the pre-fight, he showed a lot more of that in this fight. I mean, it just looked smooth. It was, like you say, Ben Smooth Henderson. I mean, the dude looked smooth in this fight. He looked great.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where this guy's going to be in a few years, man.
I am too, man.
Ladder.
I am too, man, big time. He shows a lot of promise. And like I was telling you earlier, man, before we started up, Patty gave him some hats off, man. He gave him a lot of respect, and I gotta pay respect to Houlihan too, because it's not like he made any excuses. He just, hey, man, I brought everything in here and tried to put on the best show I can, and hats off to Louis Smoka, because he came here, he fought hard, and he beat me in my backyard. So I mean, he takes his shots and he owns up to them. You know what I mean? So I a lot of respect for both of these guys, man. And Louis Smoka, 24 years old, man.
Yeah.
Ridiculously young and still got a huge career ahead of him. 10-1 right now. So,
and all the injuries and stuff that happened People. That's why we're kidding around calling it Fart Night, because within a 2-week span, you had the top 2 fights of the main card go in the shitter. Okay, so and the Dublin crowd didn't deserve that, man. They were hyped up for this. They've been, listening to all the commercials and getting into it, getting hyped up, and then we have this happen, and it's a big down. It's a big downer, man. And
not only that, besides all that, Ben Rothwell takes it in the back door for UFC to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. And,
which, mind you, is the term backdoor ever going to be safe again? I mean, really, every time you hear backdoor, what do you think about? You think of butthole.
Mm-hmm.
It's never going to be safe again.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Hey, try the rear entrance. You pull up to any kind of medical office or something like that. Oh, parking in rear. Or, don't use front door, park in rear. Use rear entrance. I mean, it's everywhere. Front door.
Or when you deliver the package at my back door.
Right.
It's like
never going to be safe again.
No, it's not. But
even young kids to old people, backdoor is a ruined phrase.
But having the injuries and stuff, the fans felt cheated. They took to Twitter about it. One of the fans in particular was bitching about, oh yeah, we have the all the injuries and we don't get all the full card, this and that. We got cheated. And then Dana White actually responded to this guy and said, take your ticket back and get a full refund, dummy. I'm paraphrasing that, but so he's basically saying, and I have to give him, I don't do it a lot, but I got to give props off to the UFC and Dana White for doing this for the Dublin crowd. I just wish he could extend the courtesy over here in America.
Extend the courtesy and maybe work that through on some pay-per-view cards that have been botched.
Yeah, straight up.
Like automatically just do a straight refund and reschedule this shit.
And this
fart knocker of a card.
And with some of these draws that they'd be getting from, you're going to get a sold-out crowd over there in Dublin because they don't get UFC a lot. But
right.
Some of these, a couple weeks ago or about a month ago, they had some all-time record lows at the door sales, okay? And with these fucking injuries, and you're giving all the fucking money back from your door on this one, basically. Okay, so that's another one within a month's time. You got 2 shit fucking door venue fucking in revenue, and then on the other hand, you got Coker over here, fucking getting alliances going across seas, bringing Fedor back, announcing a bunch of good stuff that's happening in the new year. And then, you got to look. It's kind of like the Bellator's rising, and UFC is coming down, man. They better come out of the gate in 2016 like gangbusters, dude.
I can see a lot of that kind of fluctuating where UFC might have an issue again down the road, but I think the next few cards, especially pay-per-views, given they don't have a shit ton of injuries, are going to be some sick-ass cards.
Yeah.
And I mean, the next... we're going to talk about the upcoming fight night later on, Henderson or whatever. It's going to be on the next show, but that's not it's not a pay-per-view worthy card. It's not an ass-ripping card, but it's a card that makes a lot of sense when you got middle-of-the-road guys and up-and-comers. It makes a crap ton of sense. It's got some
vying for position on the ladder.
Yeah, jockeying, But it's just a card that makes a lot of sense for those kind of guys. So that's why it's exciting. It's like, there's not a shitload of title fights on here, or there's not any title fights, but there's guys that could be, top 10ers, 15ers finding their way inside in the next fight or two.
Enough!
Those kind of guys. Dogs are going crazy, huh?
Oh, sorry, I thought I had a mute.
Mute. The mute fails. No, but it was actually kind of funny. But, all in all, given that we had some cancellations, it was not the card it should have been, and not to an American fan. Maybe some people might be huge fans of these guys, and it was just what they wanted to see. That could be, but for me, no, hell no. It was,
Well, speaking of going out gangbusters, I said, coming out gangbusters, you said, yeah, you had the two upcoming Ronda Rousey card and the Conor McGregor Aldo card, which, hey, it's going to be a strong finish to this year for UFC, I do have to admit. And like I said, I was talking about coming out in gangbusters. And if you look at the Dominic Cruz, TJ Dillashaw card, that is the definition of fucking gangbusters on January 17th, dude. We got names like Pettis, Alvarez going together.
That's interesting, dude. To me, that's an interesting fight, man. Very cool.
We also have a fucking Brown Mitrione. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a fucking Bosch fucking Herman. We have a Felder fucking Cruikshank.
Yeah, interesting fight, dude, because you got two just running. I mean, you're talking about a guy that used to be running gun, but I think Cruikshank's making a lot more smart choices with his training these days. Felder should be making those choices, so we should see a little bit of that.
Yeah,
smart.
He's coming off of 2 losses, because the foot off the gas thing didn't work this time, dude.
No,
this is an equal fucking match. This is going to be a badass stand-up, dude.
It should be a great fight. Actually, with some of the shit that they're learning.
Kicks.
Well. Excuse me, but some of the shit that Cruikshank's learning, when he's ready to take this to the ground, he probably should be able to. Really, I mean, providing what Felder's learning. You know what I mean? Felder trains with Cerrone, so I mean, Cerrone's no joke on the ground. So I mean, he should be really picking Cerrone's brain for, hey, if I get taken down, man, what you need to teach me what I can do here.
Every training session he has with Cerrone is going to make him better, dude.
And he's got to pick his brain big time, because that's where he falls short. Because if he's on his back, he's in big trouble, man. So
yeah, it's like Cruikshank too, man. Cruikshank's coming off fucking 2 losses as well. So this is a fucking soul search match here. Really, it's not Crossroads. It's fucking Soul Search. Let's get a fucking win, guys.
Yeah, I would say Cruikshank's looked more progressed in learning what he needs to learn. So I would say going into this fight, just an early look at it, he in my opinion, he should look the more well-rounded fighter, in my opinion.
And let's just remind all these fighters too, UFC. And yeah, these guys are a pretty good name, exciting young fighters, but don't get too fucking comfortable, man. On 3 losses in a row, the way UFC's cutting motherfuckers and trimming the fat right now, don't put your fucking head out there, dude.
Yeah.
You guys need this fucking win, dude.
Well, it's funny you say that too, man. I don't know if you wanted to add to that, but I want to cut you off.
Go for it.
No, all right. It's funny that you mentioned they're trimming fat. You know what I think they're trimming a lot of fat for? I think they're finding a lot of people on the road. This whole Sage Northcutt thing. They found Sage on the road. Who knows if they didn't have this little stupid show? Who knows what would have happened? Sage Northcutt could still be fighting in Legacy, not being discovered yet. So them having that show, I think they're discovering a lot more than they bargained for. And they're probably trimming some fat for that. That's just speculation on my part. I could be wrong, but I bet you they're finding some really, really good fighters. Because Legacy, I don't know what it is, man, but Legacy finds these fighters that are just sick with finishes. Mm-hmm. That night that Sage Northcutt won his fight, there was like 3 or 4 other finishes that night. But, and Dana, it even shows Dana talking about, hey, man, one other guy was like, hey, man, I want to get in the UFC. I'm dying to, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you know what? Hey, man, let's look at Ultimate Fighter. But he's telling these guys what to do, you know what I mean? But, in hindsight, he may be coming back and signing some of these guys like he did with Sage Northcutt.
Well, if you're a fighter in here, like we said, I think it was the middleweight. They had 70, 80 fucking fighters, in the roster. They probably cut down from there. But they're going to trim the fat there. They're going to trim the fat if your record's going downhill. You got 3-4 losses in the row, or, you've lost fucking 4 out of 5 or something like that. You can get your pink slip. Okay? And then, like Brian's saying, he's looking for an infusion of young talent to bring the UFC into the next phase, It's like the Sage Northcutts, the Smolkas, and anybody else that's fucking catching his eye on his little grand tour here in his new little video series, okay? Yeah. So everybody needs to be on notice and take this shit serious, man. And some of these guys, like you say, in Legacy, and they're having these awesome finishes. People say, well, they're getting the UFC and they got much more talent here. Well, guess what? If he keeps bringing in young talent, it's all going to be fucking equal.
Right.
And you're just going to have the new generation of fucking MMA fighters.
Yeah, and if you get a bunch of guys in there that just come in and lose continuously, he's just going to cut them just accordingly, too. So they're not going to have a long career if they keep losing. So, I mean, it's
You've got camps all over the place that are ready to take in this new talent and fucking use their attributes and progress them to their fullest abilities.
Right.
So
a great example, Sage Northcutt fights with the same camp as George St. Pierre, TriStar. So, also Rory McDonald. So, I mean, that's a great camp, man.
You got them bringing in young guys. You got Elevation starting up, bringing in the young fighters.
They've been there for a while, man, and they've got a whole slew of great fighters over there now. I mean, I don't know how long they've been there, to be honest with you, man, but, I mean, they're a newer camp to my knowledge, but I know they've been there a little while, just with hearing shows that I've heard and stuff like that. But they're definitely – they recently brought over a lot of good fighters, man. Man, if I could take a few trainers that I would really want to be trained by in some certain aspects, it would be – I mean, number one, Rafael Cordero,
Yes.
Dwayne Ludwig. Wow, what's another one? A smidge of Greg Jackson, you know what I mean? Because I think it's kind of...
He's coming back up, yep.
Yeah,
Jackson.
and they've looked really good with... Yep. They looked great over the years with, St. Pierre being over there. Overeem was over there for a little bit, but I mean, they've... I
had a little downslide. Now they're coming back up.
So. Yeah, they did have a little bit of a downslide, but I mean, they're still considered a really great.
Just like the Black Zillions did. So
right, and like a Serra-Longo camp too. I mean, for different stuff too. You got an ex-champion kickboxer over there, teaching people how to, do the simple turn of the knee. You're breaking somebody's leg. Yeah. I mean, it's just. Yeah. But I'm like I said, man. I'm sidestepping a little bit here, sidetracking, but sorry about that, man. Why don't we take a quick break?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're going to take a quick break. We ran down the fart night. It's all done with. But when we get back, we're going to be talking about the return of Bones Jones. He's been reinstated. And DC had some comments on that. We'll get to that when we come back, people.
Daniel Cormier, I want you to believe this. You are going to lose this fight. I want you... Oh, sorry. It's break time, though. We'll be back.
The return of Bones Jones.
Daniel Cormier, I want you to understand that you are going to lose this fight. I want you to believe this, Daniel Cormier. You are going to lose this fight. No, I'm sorry. I just did that before we left, and then I found myself doing it again because I thought it was so stupid, but it just took over. I had to say it.
Well, the UFC's reinstated him, after his accident, his cocaine use, and all the good stuff that goes.
No, it was just cocaine metabolites.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Metabolites, whatever it was.
Those are sold at Walmart, but
right, exactly, yeah.
But he's been reinstated, and DC chirped out about it, saying that it's the best news that he's heard in a long time. Which is it's a PR comment. You know what I'm saying? It really is. And it's same thing if we harken back to the first time that he got the interim belt when he jumped up on it and he started talking about jumped up on the cage, started talking about Bones Jones, needs to come back or whatever. It's just like you're taking the limelight, or you're taking the importance of winning the belt, and you're almost taking it off yourself and putting it on John Jones.
Right, giving John Jones the grace.
Yeah, it's like why would he even come out of your mouth unless you were being asked about it in an interview? His name shouldn't even come out of your mouth.
Right.
So
it really didn't in the second fight. The one fight it didn't so much.
No, it didn't, and I was I noticed that because I was waiting for it and he didn't do it, and I was like, okay.
With the Gus fight I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So people know. Yeah. Which somebody probably got into his ear and said, "Dude, you gave that whole win to fucking John Jones. Why did you do that?" But it's and he came out and said some other crap too that I thought was kind of not belittling. I shouldn't use that word, but kind of like, okay, you've had your issues now. Let's get over it. And let's be men about it, and let's do. And it's like John Jones doesn't need you to tell him that. He doesn't need. You're finding some way to run a backside comment to him, whatever. Backdoor comment. There we go. Backdoor. Sorry.
No, if he thinks that fucking John Jones is going to come back and be all cordial with him, John Jones is going to have the same fucking attitude. He's not going to be all meek for what the shit he did in the past. He's still going to be John Jones. He's still going to be cocky, arrogant.
No, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a shit-headed comment. I think it was just meant to probably piss him off, probably. Because it's like, hey, we had our problems. I hope you got over your problems now, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I hope I got over my problems. Why don't you mind your own fucking business? I mean, that's the way I'd be about it. It's like, okay, you got over your problems.
Yeah. Like you said, it was backhanded compliment or backhanded comment,
Yeah. I don't think there was anything other than that to it. That's the way I read it. And it's like, he doesn't say shit like that. I don't know. He does. Maybe he means well in some way, but damn well he means something backhanded along with it. So
we already talked about the return to John Jones and if he would go, straight to a title contention, which I don't think somebody, people have made comments about asking, opinions on it. Should he get a immediate title shot or whatever. And my response is, you should not reward a fucking, I'm not going to sit there and call him a drug head or whatever, but somebody who's been busted for this shit, okay?
Yeah.
You shouldn't reward somebody like that. You should make him, if not one fight, 2 fights, work your way back up the ladder a little bit, maybe come out, I don't know, at least 1 fight, before you get him back in the ring for the belt, because, like I said, you don't reward this guy for doing this shit, man. It's just like, I don't know.
No, I mean, I agree with that. And at the same time, it's like, people are calling, oh, he's the GOAT, man. He's the greatest of all time. And it's like, guys, when you have a fight like he had with Gustafsson, I cannot call him the greatest of all time. I'm sorry, I can't. He looked like his face went through a fucking meat grinder.
Put it this way, he needs about 10 more fights before I start fucking putting sentences like that in there.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, let's go a couple more fights here before we even consider talking about that. as a venture down the road.
And exactly down the road, we probably won't be mentioning him. I won't be mentioning him that until he starts taking out heavyweights, because he's already talked about it. We've talked about it. Natural body weight, as he gets older, he's going to be putting on some pounds. Bones Jones is going to be a heavyweight eventually, people.
Yeah, he's talked about it. Like you said, he's talked about it. We've talked about it. And he's put that to rest for now, but he's only going to be able to put that to rest for so long, because he put that to rest before all this shit, all this cocaine shit and all that, and all his suspension and everything else, and indefinite suspension, which really wasn't very long. Not when you're thinking in terms of Anderson Silva or a Nick Diaz, or Nick Diaz. He's unless he gets this overturned, he's not going to be back at all. Sorry, he's going to be what 39 or 40 by the time he comes back.
He'd probably get it lessened, but
he should.
Yeah,
but it's because that's bullshit. But
Bones Jones coming back. Daniel Cormier, if he does get a warm-up fight, you're going to probably see the best Bones Jones you've seen. But that being said, Daniel Cormier has looked damn good, especially against Gus. So Bones Jones is going to be in for a fight himself. It's going to be a scrapper. But the one thing that Daniel Cormier lacks is one, fucking size. He's short. Two, raw power. And yes, Daniel Cormier overpowers everybody in the division except for John Jones. So he's your kryptonite, bro.
And I wouldn't even go as far as to say that he did all that great against a Gus either. He beat a Gus. Don't get me wrong. He beat Gus, and he beat him fair and square. It was a pretty damn close fight, I thought, though.
And I can safely say this. One, if Gus would have fucking finished him off, instead of, I guess Gus could have been a little gassed when he was trying to put him away, and Daniel Cormier got on his fucking bicycle for the last 30 seconds. Another thing is, Gus made the fucking bad mistake of staying in there close and taking all those fucking uppercuts.
Yeah.
That lost the fight. But,
yeah, I think, lack of head movement and some lack of just,
clinching with a Tyson-style fighter.
Yeah, there comes a time where some backpedaling is not a bad idea, dude. Back up, get the fuck out of there, man.
Yeah, and he did, but it was in the third round. It was too late.
Yeah, no, you're right, too, because there's a lot of shots like that he took that he had no answer for. It's like when he finally did have an answer for it, it was way too late, man. You were already taking too many shots.
And your face was fucking mangled, dude. Your fucking eyesight was blurred. You're gushing. Yeah, it wasn't a good look, and I don't want to get too far into it, but we're still scratching our head about him looking back over to his fucking coaches fucking umpteen times.
Yeah, that was strange, man. That was weird.
Odd fight. But
I think Cormier in this second time around with a Jones, which I agree. I bet you they will give him the direct rematch. I'm betting UFC will, just because let's take the fucking payoff. Let's get the money.
Okay.
We'll
start out 2016 with a bang.
But you think about it too, they could really start it off with a big bang if they give him the right fight coming back in.
Yeah.
Even if it's a fight knowing that John Jones can win it, they could still build it as such. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is going to be a competitive match, and with all
he's
that
going
crap.
to fucking. But 90% says he comes back to a rematch of somebody. So. But I don't think if you're going to give him, if you're not going to give him the title shot, then you're going to have to give him somebody below 5. I'd have to say, even maybe below 10, because they've done that with what's his face. He just came back, fucking. Who did Rashad face?
Oh, Bader. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was higher ranked. I'm thinking something else.
Not Johnson. Anthony Johnson.
Well, what was Diaz ranked when he fought fucking Silva when Silva came back?
Oh, it was a total mismatch. It was like Diaz wasn't even ranked all that high.
No, and that's what I'm kind of talking about for the little coddling and letting him get his feet wet kind of thing and shaking off rust dealio. Maybe not giving him somebody too high. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's just my thoughts on it, because they don't want to fucking have a John Jones coming in an immediate rematch having rust against a guy that's fucking basically still sweating from the last fucking fight with fucking Gus, dude. Which is not true, but I'm just saying he's fought, not too long ago. And Jones, it's been over a fucking year now? So.
Yeah. No, it's not a great idea, man. It's really not. Because, I mean, I think Cormier said, "Hey, man, I don't mind taking the time off because he said in a 10-month span he's fought 3 times."
Yeah.
And that's, I gotta give a little hats off on that. That's big, man. That's huge. But he's done it because he wanted that belt and wanted to defend that belt. Wanted to get that shot, the belt shot, and all that crap.
You can have Jones come back beginning of next year, fight, and then fight fucking Cormier late spring.
Yeah, no, that would make a lot of sense because Cormier did say he wanted to take some time off because he's like, I got the belt now.
Recharge batteries.
Yeah, I want to tend to some things in some injuries, but not even so much injuries, but some things I gotta tune up. You know what I mean? Just I get some downtime. You know what I mean? Like we all know how that works, man. Any working Joe out there
being a champion, he'd probably fucking do some commercials or fucking whatever for his sponsors. Fuck.
Yeah.
All kinds of shit, but we'll have to see what's going on with the fucking Bones Jones shit. We're interested in seeing that, dude. But we got some disturbing news of ex-UFC veteran LeVar Johnson jailed on multiple felony domestic violence charges.
Current Bellator fighter, too, isn't he?
Yes,
I think he's
yes.
currently on the roster, I believe, man. So.
Yeah, he's facing a regional pass charge against her. A pretty awful slam. Okay. Johnson's girlfriend says he slammed her against the wall in the ground, kneed her in the face and head multiple times, and struck her 11 more times in the face with a closed fist. Johnson's girlfriend says the fighter eventually backed off when he saw blood streaming down her face. Johnson has entered a not guilty plea but remains in jail on a $120,000 bond. This might be a fucking War Machine situation, dude.
Yeah, a not guilty plea after 11 strikes to the face? Are you a fucking retard?
This is allegedly, people, okay?
Right, yeah, no, I agree. It's alleged. Yeah, let's give it some time, get all the real facts out. You're not saying that these aren't facts. Who knows? It's going to be dead on. Who knows?
And I'm not, if he did it, he's a piece of shit. But we've had instances of women, spouses, girlfriends taking advantage of people that have money. And LeVar Johnson's been in the game a little, he's had some big fights, dude. I have to say he's got a little bit of cash.
Yeah, and he's got some great fights, man. I mean, he's got some great losses, too, but he's got some great fights under his belt. I mean, in Strikeforce. Strikeforce, I think one stint in UFC, and then he's been in Bellator, you know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely, man. It's a great thing going right now.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm looking on here, and that's the end of it. I don't see anything about. It's all says rumored because we don't have any photos of his girlfriend's face. We don't have any records of that.
So it could possibly be maybe a questionable source.
Yes. So
right.
but it's TMZ.
Yeah.
It's TMZ. So
right.
TMZ
can get their facts from anybody. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But we'll have to see.
I saw Fart Sack Johnson. He just, it's funny. I just grabbed the name Johnson, but we're talking about LeVar Johnson. What the hell?
Yeah, but the way he
face, and he ran over and smashed his girlfriend in the face.
And it sounds like the way he beat her up is kind of same thing we heard of War Machine doing it to Christy Mack. It's
right. And you got Travis Brown in the same problem, but Travis Brown, I believe, UFC obviously believes as well that guy's cleared his name.
Yeah.
That chick is, he's kind of gone on record here. Not on record, but I mean, he's gone on, on Helwani's show saying that, there's a lot of things about her that people don't know. She's tried to do this and do that, and it's all not true. She's tried to spread rumors and lies, and it's not true. And I've proved my innocence. And it's just, you can't spread crap like that around.
And people, we're not condoning what LeVar Johnson did, but we're just fucking looking at both sides of the story. And Brian's bringing up the perfect example for what it sounds like a Travis Brown being cleared of his name from a girlfriend that was just pissed off, making up shit, and fucking trying to get the guy fucking basically his career fucked and put in jail, dude.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't see any pictures. We just hear rumors. So if he did do it, he's a major piece of shit. But this is still ongoing. He's in jail as we speak, and we're going to follow this closely, and we'll give you an update on it coming up. We do a lot of MMA stuff on this, but we've tried to get into other ventures. Right now, like we've announced on our last show, we're going to be doing some gaming and stuff on Twitch, and we downloaded a shitload of games on Steam. And Brian just got his new Alienware rig. It's kind of like a standalone freaks. Yeah, the Alpha.
Yeah, Alienware Alpha. I got the lowest model, so I might need to do some updating on my part, to play some certain games. But for now, it's been awesome. So, I mean, anybody out there wanting to buy Alienware Alpha, I strongly recommend it, man. It's a great... Because to me, it's perfect, because I was looking for a really small computer and a gaming system. It's both. It's both in one. It's perfect, man.
And another thing I'd like to add, guys, if you've ever sat there and played your video games, you like to play video games on your computer, Steam, whatnot. After about an hour or so, it gets a little fucking uncomfortable sitting in your fucking computer chair. Wouldn't it be nice to just lounge on your couch, play the same Steam games you have on your fucking TV in computer resolution, and having a badass fucking gaming engine? Dude.
With a controller.
Yeah, with a controller.
Yeah.
Wireless controller. Fucking badass. But
no carpal tunnel. Well, at least less carpal tunnel, in my opinion. It's a little more, conducive, whatever, to the, I don't know what the word is, but it's a little more practical with your hand positions. Your hands are more positioned nicely around a controller than they are constrictively on a keyboard. You know what I mean? That's my beef.
And not only that, you're not sitting upright. You can lounge back in your favorite fucking chair, have a nice freshie on the side, be on Skype or whatever, fucking jam out. We're going to be on Twitch. We're going to be doing all that shit. But the reason I brought that up, the MMA, if you look on it, it's MMA and more. And the more stands for just entertainment stuff and stuff that we find just everyday shit that's kick-ass that you don't hear about all the time. And one of them is this guy that has just basically left society and gone on this mission of his, okay? He's gone out to this, like, sandstone mounds and has carved himself an underground art gallery, basically.
It's ridiculous, man.
And if you look inside after 25 years of what this guy has done, and mind you, people, he don't have machinery coming in helping him. He don't have helpers doing this. This guy, every time he takes out some sandstone, which he's carving in, he loads it up in his wheelbarrow, hauls it out, and dumps it. And over 25 years, I wouldn't even want to fathom how many wheelbarrow fills and dumps that is. But this guy has got
loading buckets up by rope, probably. Because, where's the wheelbarrow going to go, really? Or are they going to, which I don't know. There could be a whole different area where he rolls that all out of there. But, I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff going straight up overhead. So I got to wonder if he's just rolling it up through a 5-gallon bucket of dirt at one time. I mean, that's not much at all.
I don't know. And this guy has carved out caverns inside of these hills. Just pure caverns, and every so often he designs fucking personalized art sculptures in the walls, and they're just we're gonna put this link. We're gonna put the video up on Illegal Elbow MMA and More on Facebook. Check it out, people.
Yeah, I'll throw it up on the
Sweet.
webpage too, man, because it's an awesome
Oh, yeah.
video, man. So I gotta
illegalelbow.com.
Yeah. Throw it up there, because you gotta look at it. I mean, really, this is it's breathtaking to see. I don't use the word amazing, but this guy took 25 years to do what he's done so far, and he's not done yet. So to me, that's just shy of amazing. I mean,
it can be called a passion or an obsession, dude, or probably both.
Yeah. I would say borderline, but definitely more obsessive in my opinion. But it's awesome, man. It's awesome.
It's something that 100, 200, 1,000 years from now, somebody's going to come across that shit, or maybe it's just preserved and saying, hey, at this time, around this time in the fucking 2000s or whatever, started in the 1990s or whatever, 1980s, this guy did this. It's part of history, really. Because
right.
It's just amazing, man. It kind of blows you away because, one, the art's there, but the thing that really blows me away more than the art is the fucking work the guy did for 25 years, man.
It's ridiculous. I mean, like, you got walls of, like, not walls, but almost like pillars to maintain stability that are like shaped like a snake from top to bottom. It's like as he was digging his way down, he made sure every wall, on his way down, every wall and every pillar that he created was, okay, well, I dig out like 3 feet. Okay, well, I gotta
leave this much over, so
right.
I
gotta go
away.
I gotta go all the way around to each and every wall and every pillar, all the way around every pillar to make sure that the creation, the carving out that I'm doing, it remains consistent throughout top to bottom. And it's when you see the end pictures, or at least the finished pictures that we got so far, it's ridiculous. This guy, his attention to detail and meticulousness is just
life's work.
Life's work, exactly. The guy probably is a big time minimalist. Probably eats a small meal a day.
And staying away from civilization, basically, and just being a hermit and just doing your thing, your passion, he probably
has no idea.
He's probably got
what's
so
going on
many
today.
fucking. Yeah, he might just make something out of, just start carving and just make something out of whatever, or he might have a fucking catalog in his brain of things that he wants done.
Yeah.
So that's the part, you see a lot of fucking bullshit stuff going on in society today, but this is really inspiring of the human spirit and the human determination, dude. So
yeah. It's something that can really inspire you to do things that you really love. Because I'm 42 right now. There's times where I find, well, maybe this is a venture I can take.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding that just now. I'm just finding that these days, rather than finding it in my 20s. Maybe that's a venture I can take that I can actually make work for me. And I'm not talking. It's not relevance to the story, but I'm just now finding it today, rather than 20 years ago when I would like to start shaping a career of something. Mm-hmm. So what I mean. It's good for a young person to see something like this because it can really speak to them. You know what I mean? It can really speak to somebody that's looking for something that they really want to wrap their head around and do. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, and people, this is like I said, this is just something extra we do. Along with the MMA content, we're going to have other things that are entertaining, intriguing, and just stuff we like to do, and we think you like it too. We're not going to go overboard on it. It's still going to be mainly MMA stuff. But like I said, we're going to set days out where we stream live on Twitch on a Sunday night when there ain't going to be no fucking MMA shit coming up. Next weekend. We might do it next weekend. We might have a live streaming Twitch. But that being said, look out for all that stuff. But I'd like to make one more announcement just to remind you guys is we're going to have Paul, the Headhunter Botello, on. and a few shows coming up in here, and we've had him on before. Great show. We are really pumped and stoked to have this guy, this veteran warrior, on. This guy's been through it all, man. This guy is just the epitome of don't quit, and man, he is just some of the stories he tells, man, is inspiring. So
we'll have to revisit some of the old ones, man, just to bring them back. You know what I mean? It's some great stuff with I guarantee you, with some of the guys that some of the security and bodyguards, whatever.
Yeah.
Not bodyguards, but just some of the security that you see in UFC all the time.
We're talking about a guy that has knocked out heavyweights that have been much bigger than him.
Yeah.
You know, this guy he's ready to go to war. So, like I said before, when we talked about it earlier, he's a guy that's cut his own path, and he's been in the game this long for a reason. So,
yeah.
You know,
If you find any kind of MMA database, I don't know which one you use, whichever one you use, go there and look up Paul Buentello and tell me what you find. And I'm talking about Buentello. Paul the Headhunter Buentello. Look him up on any database, whatever MMA database. Yeah, you're talking 50 fights. You know, just I think he just crossed his 50th fight in a 19-year career. He's 41 years old. The guy deserves some hats off.
And we've also discussed earlier, you know, he's came down to light heavyweight. He usually fought heavyweight. He's able to do that. So moving forward, if he's called upon or he's got a good fight, he's going to do that. But we're talking about a Paul Buentello in the heavyweight division that has the hands of a middleweight. Okay, if you watch some of his older fights, and Brian just said against Sokoju, some of the jab and stuff that he was seeing from Buentello was some of the best that he's seen in his career. So this guy is always constantly fucking working.
Heart of a warrior, man. Like you said, man, he's a true warrior, and he's inspirational to me because I'm actually a year older than the guy. So it's like, you know what, the guy's an inspiration to me, man. If he's doing this, what the hell am I doing sitting on the couch? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So, but I need to get my ass off the couch. So having a guy like Paul on our show, it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air for me. It's a nice I get some nice insight myself, and hopefully you guys appreciate it too, man.
And he's always going to tell some hilarious stories. And we had him out last time. He was talking about behind-the-scenes stuff about what was going on between fighters and this and that. And we had a ball. We had some laughs. Check it out. We got a interview with Paul Buentello. You go into our archives at Spreaker.com. You'll see it there, but we're looking forward to it.
Also on illegalobo.com. You can scroll to the bottom of the page, man. It's been there for probably a year now. So, interview. So,
yep, we're looking forward to it. But that's going to wrap it up for today, people. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate the response you guys gave us on our last show.
Jeez.
Yeah, we didn't expect that, and we are very thankful for you guys tuning in and supporting us.
Sorry, dude, but let me check this out just to make sure here real quick, man. People, a grand total of 893 views on our 893 plays on our last show, and thank you very much, man. Really big time.
Yeah.
You know, and if I may hijack the show again, I want to go through some statistics here real quick, just for a minute. Stay with me on this, peeps. But I want to give a little bit of little attention to. I'm gonna probably say this wrong because I don't know the actual pronunciation of how it works in Norway, but Honfoss, Norway, is showing us a lot of special attention, and I appreciate that, man. A lot of listenership coming out of Norway. I'm cool with that, man. I love it.
Oh yeah,
it's
international.
Yeah, man. Houston, Texas, big time coming through for us, man. So thank you very much. Chicago, Illinois, Las Vegas, Nevada, Muskegon, Michigan, Tulsa, Oklahoma, London, United Kingdom. So we're going worldwide, baby. We've been going worldwide for a while now, but now we're really able to see, you know, the full scope of it all. So Richmond, Virginia, Montreal, Canada. Thank you very much, man. We really, really appreciate it, guys. Tell you what, Dan, Steadfast, brother.
And God beer.
All right, people, thanks for tuning in, man. It was a blast. Don't forget to check us out, MMA Aftermath on Facebook, MMA Aftermath on Twitter, also Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And head on over to illegalelbow.com. Check out the top 20 heavyweight list and the heavyweight forecast and all the extras and new stuff that Brian's been putting on. That's illegalelbow.com, people.